Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, I guess good news. The news is that you can run for president in the United States of America if you are in prison. We have two examples here, and I will talk about these two examples. I'm familiar with one more than with the other, but doesn't matter. Let's go and read what these guys are telling us from Business Insider. So, you can run for president from prison. Here's what happened when two candidates campaigned from behind bars. So left, this guy is Debs, I think he's a socialist, portrayed bust, and a right-wing politician, Lyndon Larouche, attended the press conference. I know them both. I mean, not personally, obviously it's like in the 30s or something, and I know him like 70s or something like that, 80s. No? All right. The Constitution does not stop candidates from running for president while serving jail time. Two previous candidates, Eugene V. Debs in 1920 and Lyndon Larouche in 1992, both ran from prison. If Trump is convicted, it's possible he could run for president from behind bars. Well, they would use something else that would disqualify him, but he's not charged with that. That's interesting. Former President Donald Trump is facing yet another criminal indictment, this time related to January 6th. Okay? And his efforts to blah, 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 blue. It's Trump's third indictment in less than 5 months. They are busy bees. An unprecedented legal obstacle for the GOP frontrunner in the 2024 presidential race. Yeah. Trump has vowed to fight the charges and accused prosecutors of a witch hunt, but if he's convicted and sentenced, could he continue his presidential run from prison? Legal experts told Insider that's nothing in the Constitution preventing him from doing just that. Michael Gerhardt, a constitutional law professor at the University of North Carolina School of Law in Chapel Hill, said, and I'm quoting, "If he happens to be in prison at the time of the next presidential election, the fact that he is in prison will not prevent him from running." Yeah, but what kind of morals and ethics are his supporters have? Running for president from jail isn't exactly unprecedented. It's been done twice before. Socialist Eugene Debs ran from behind bars over 100 years ago. In 1920s, socialist Eugene V. Debs ran for an Oval Office from the Atlanta Federal Penitentiary, where he was known as Prisoner 9653, according to Smithsonian Magazine. Debs was so-called radical at the time, decrying capitalism and the World War I draft. The letter got him locked up, but Debs earned plenty of supporters during his imprisonment. He had also ran for president on the Social Party ticket 5 prior times, often campaigning what historians attribute as more a symbolic race. I think he had like 30% at one point. On election night in 1920, Debs didn't make a speech, and instead he wrote a statement. The Washington Post reported, "I thank the capitalist masters for putting me here," end quote. He wrote, according to the Post, and I'm quoting, "They know where I belong under their criminal and corrupting system. It is the only compliment they could pay me," end quote. Debs ended up earning about 3.5% of the national vote for president, Smithsonian Magazine reported. So, fringe candidate Lyndon Larouche tried for the Democratic Party nomination and then switched tickets. I'm familiar with this guy too. Over 7 years later, another convicted candidate ran for the president from jail, political fringe and conspiracy theorist Lyndon Larouche. Larouche was no stranger to campaigning. He ran in every election from 1976 to 2004, but his 1992 campaign from federal prison guaranteed particular attention. Guaranteed too, particular attention. USA Today reported in 2019 that in the lead up to the 1992 election, Larouche was behind bars serving a 15-year sentence for committing mail fraud and campaign fraud conspiracy, the latter involving $30 million in loans from supporters that prosecutors said Larouche had never attempted to repay, but that didn't stop him from seeking out the Democratic Party nomination. When Bill Clinton won the primary, LaRouche switched to the National Economic Recovery ticket, campaigning on overhauling the world's financial and banking systems. He ultimately received over 26,000 votes in the election, about 0.02% of the popular vote. Beyond his economic viewpoints, LaRouche other beliefs often played into conspiracy theories and apocalyptic visions about the world. This is like what? Robert F. Kennedy Jr. now? A conspiracy theorist? Reuters reported in 2019. He had a variety of confounding views of the AIDS crisis, including that it was first spread by the International Monetary Fund, and believed the blah 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 was mythical. Reuters and USA Today reported. So, what would it look like for Trump to campaign from prison? So, while Debs and LaRouche were both unsuccessful in their campaigns, they were still able to run for president while behind bars. Their supporters, running mates, and parties spread the word, bolstering their message when they couldn't. And support for Trump, who announced his 2024 campaign late last year, is still surging. Recent polling puts him well ahead of his GOP rivals, including Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, and I think Biden as well. But how Trump navigates his bolstering legal challenges could determine how successful his campaign is. Earlier this year, Trump was charged with 34 felony counts on falsifying business records related to 2016 payment to porn actress. Finally, is not an adult film actress. Stormy Daniels. Months of witness testimonies to a New York grand jury, including some by Trump's former fixer, Michael Cohen. A liar pens on fire, but hey, that's what happens when you call wolf too many times. Spoke to the decade-long timeline between Trump, Daniels, and the $130,000 payment he said was made ahead of the 2016. So that's his private life. I don't care if he paid $50 billion. It's his money. To what? To a porn star? Well, I don't like it personally, but I don't care. That's his life. If he did something wrong, yeah, he should pay. But others I know did something wrong and did not pay. So let's read further. And in the past few months, Trump was hit with an initial and superseding indictment in Miami related to his handling of classified documents. In June, the Justice Department Special Counsel Jack Smith brought 37 counts against him, and according to the indictment, accused Trump of violation of Espionage Act 31. I think the Espionage Act was Debs as well. Times by illegally holding into sensitive national security documents, conspiring to obstruct justice, lying to law enforcement, and violating 3 different statutes related to withholding and concealing government records. Ooh. Then just last week, a superseding indictment added 2 additional charges against Trump. In all of these cases, the timeline for a trial isn't entirely clear, and it's possible they could occur after the 2024 election. But if convicted, Trump, and I'm quoting, would be subject to the same rules as other prisoners, which could restrict their communications and ability to appear at events. Barbara Marquardt, a law professor at the University of Michigan and a former U.S. attorney, previously told Insider, and I'm quoting, he would need to rely on proxies to campaign for him. And there are a lot of proxies that will campaign for him. But he could still run, and if he wins the nomination and the presidency in 2024, Trump may well test a presidential power that's never been needed before, a self-pardon. Well, man, that's interesting, isn't it? So, we have it. He can be a candidate. I think they want to scare him with many other things, and they want him to voluntarily click, say, well, no, you all, I'm going fishing. Probably that's what they try, and they will say your sons and your businesses and your grandchildren and until you're to your 7th generation. Isn't that what the good book says? 7th generation. The other good book, okay, the first one. We can't make shit up here, man. So we'll see. And he will say, you all, I'm done. That would be probably a little, how should I put it, agreement. And he's not picking that bait yet. I hope he doesn't. But hey, if he's guilty, he should pay. But if he's guilty, other people who bombarded other countries illegally and killed people and infrastructure and brought the economies down years and years, they should be also prosecuted, charged, and convicted. You know who I'm talking about. One is, not only one, there's many actually here, still alive, doing well and respected, invited to speak, and they're Mr. Mr. and all that. And we have Tony Blair as well, so I can mention that one. I can mention a few here too. Well, some of them died already, but we have at least two. They are still there, at least two. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.